right, I got some big Diddy news. So we got Diddy stepping in to take control of the PR narrative after, stomping out his girlfriend on video. And lucky us, now we get to see his ransom note apology that every single person who gets caught red-handed doing something terrible does. Oh yeah, Diddy? Hey, tell us about the things you didn't do again. Because I feel as though maybe you might have put a statement out about Cassie after she first brought these allegations up, some of them way worse than what was caught on video. And you said she was an opportunist liar, You settled the lawsuit real quick, though. I'm going to tell you, though, a couple things in this video. I'm going to tell you about a new case, a new assault case, which is insane, a Diddy-related one. And then I'm going to tell you where that tape came from, okay? Because the video of the hotel beating coming out, it tells us something absolutely massive, okay? Like enormous about the future for Diddy. He's finished, okay? And I'm not talking about just like, he's done in the public because now we've seen him beat up a girl. We talked about that in my live stream, but I'm talking like there's a prosecution coming down the pipeline for sure. And everybody's going to say, when I first say that, they're all, no, man, it's past the statute of limitations. Right. You're right about that. You are 100% right about that. And the tape still means that he is about to get nailed to the wall with a prosecution because the feds released that video and you know exactly why they did it. If you have 5 brain cells to rub together, I apologize. I take that back. You don't need to be stupid to not know exactly why they did it, but I'm going to tell you either way. And once I say it, you're going to go, oh, right. That actually is common sense. That's exactly what they did. So that is what we're going to do. And then also I want to show you some of the stuff True Jordy covered on it because I thought he did an excellent job. I'm going to use his, because he covered some of the stuff from her actual lawsuit, So like he took the lawsuit and it's like, all right, well now we know this is true. So what else is in there? And so that's what we're going to do. I appreciate you guys. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're going to handshake it. I haven't said this in a while. If you're new to the channel, the agreement on this is like, I'm going to continue to put out videos and we're going to handshake that you will subscribe if you watch a bunch of my content because it's an agreement. It's not free. It just doesn't cost any money. I just ask that you subscribe. And then that's the cost, paid. Then you can watch all my content for free. Just click one button because it helps me out immensely with the YouTube algorithm. And, just don't be that guy that takes the candy and doesn't leave the quarter, except this is cheaper. Anyway, so let's dive into this thing. I assume everybody has seen the assault video, but, and I also want to say this, when we go through Diddy's apology video, oh my God, it is appalling. It's egregious how bad his apology video is. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. Like I've seen a million people, not the worst thing, maybe the worst apology video I've ever seen though. So let's jump right into it. Let's start with a little ditty from. Let's start with a little ditty from True Jordy. Look at what I did there.
Wrongdoing.
And the irony is P. Diddy settled that lawsuit for $30 million real quick with Cassie, and yet had the cheek to claim that it was in no way an admission of guilt. You fucking prick.
Yep. Insta-settled. And I want to go here because he covers like what else was in the actual law. Oh yeah, here, this is what Diddy said. This is what Diddy came with. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Oh, is that right? You mean the girl you stomped out on video? Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. So that's all Diddy cares about is the truth. He just wants to get the truth out there. I heard some alleged truth today, which is that people are saying that Diddy has 5 bodies of celebrities that he put down, okay? Like that he ended 5 celebrities. When I started looking into this, I thought it was utter nonsense. However, it's not. And I'm going to show you that in a video later on this week because, oh my God, I think this dude is going down for real. Like, I think Diddy is going down for real. And I think they might get bodies on him. They might put him away for murder. I'm serious about that because here's the thing. This sets me up perfect to tell you why this video got released when it did this weekend, okay? The one of him dragging her down the hall and just obliterating her and beating her up, okay? The reason why that happened, the feds put that out. And the only reason that the feds would put that out is in preparation for the prosecution, okay? And what I mean by that is when they raided the house, right? When they raided his mansion, what did Diddy's like what did Diddy's attorney say? They said that the feds only made such a spectacle of it because they were trying to taint the potential future jury, because Diddy is so public that they knew if they do this big, huge thing and it's all over television, then they can start creating the impression that Diddy is guilty. Okay? So we all know that they do that. We all know that both sides do that. Why do you think Diddy put out an apology video? Do you think that he really believes that this is going to be convincing to anyone smart? Of course not. Well, maybe he does, actually. I don't know what on earth is inside the brain of that psychopath. But I think any smart person knows, like, you are wasting your breath, guy. You got caught on video. This is not, no, don't do the video. They're doing it so that they can try to spin the narrative back. But the reason why the feds did it, and the reason why they did it in the time frame that they did, is genius. So they do the raids. They start releasing all this information about the Cassie case and all these other things and all these alleged, things that Diddy has done. And they let Diddy hang himself. They let him go out there and say, none of these things are true. It's all lies, man. It's all lies. Brother Love would never do a thing like that. I would never do any of the things that they're saying. It's like, and the reason why people already don't believe him is because there is a certain amount of, a certain number of accusations where you're like, dude, come on. You're not going to convince us that there's no fire where there's all this smoke. Okay. But Diddy is saying that none of this stuff's true. And the feds dropped that video when they did to annihilate his credibility, because obviously when he goes to trial, you have to overcome the thing of like, damn, that's P. Diddy. What's P. Diddy's reputation? People didn't think of him, unless they're really in the business and in the mix, people think of him as kind of like a clean-cut good guy. And they just lit that reputation on fire, and they did it on purpose. They definitely had that video in their pocket, and they dropped it because he's about to get indicted. I guarantee you he's about to get indicted, because why else would they do it? You know what I mean? Bottom line. Cassie, she signed an NDA. She didn't do it. Who else would have done it? It's the feds, dude. The feds have it. The feds investigated her claims, which are criminal, got the video, put it out. Would be my educated guess. So let's continue talking about Diddy, because he's a piece of shit. Then we're going to talk about his grapist son and audio recordings that have come out that validate exactly that in one of the creepiest incidents that I've heard. I mean, it's like father, like son. A great dad, dude. Really great dad. Wait till you hear what's on that audio recording. You're gonna be like, wow. So like his son, like his dad taught his son to drug women. Clearly, he's not quite as slick as his dad either. All right, so let's watch this. This is about the Cassie lawsuit.
And punched her in the face, giving her a black eye. It was actually when Diddy fell asleep, according to the lawsuit, that was when she tried to leave the hotel room, which explains why he shoved a towel around him and went chasing after her.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Let me go back here real quick. So the one thing that we missed here was that what they're saying is Diddy had punched her in the face in the hotel room, okay? So he punched her and gave her a black eye. So she waited till he fell asleep, and then she tried to sneak out like a little battered, terrified girl. And then you saw what happened. He woke up, saw she was gone, chased her down the hallway, and then that's what happened. Let's listen.
Back to the allegations from Cassie herself in the lawsuit. She said that he became very intoxicated and punched her in the face, giving her a black eye. It was actually when Diddy fell asleep, according to the lawsuit, that was when she tried to leave the hotel room, which explains why he shoved a towel around him and went chasing after her. He was probably butt naked asleep. But as she exited, Mr. Combs awoke and began screaming at Miss Ventura, followed her into the hallway while yelling at her. We've seen all of this. So
Yep. So when that lawsuit came out, he denied it. Fervently denied it. All of these things are dirty lies. Oh, yeah? What about the part that's on tape? And what's crazy is in the lawsuit, she doesn't even tell about the part that he stomped on her in the hallway. She didn't even know about the video, dude. That's what's so crazy. She didn't even know about the video. That's how you know that. Because if she knew about the video, she would have itemized that in her lawsuit. The fact that he stomped on her. The feds have that video. That's who put it out. Guaranteed. So, listen, like they probably looked at her lawsuit and they were like, oh, all right, well, so this happened what date at what hotel? And there's probably every piece of security footage for the last 20 years is backlogged in the cloud somewhere for these kinds of hotels. And they're like, hey, how about How about this date in 2016? Who was there? They're like, oh yeah, or like, what floor was he on? Boom, and they got it. Just like that, you know? So listen, dude, at the end of the day, he's going down, dude, and he's going down hard. And as you can see here, he also punched her in the face, and this is just one day. This is just one day. That's the craziest part about this is when you see his apology video, which we're going to go to in a second, because I know I'm going to spend 5 minutes talking about it, and then we're going to do his son still. But what's so crazy about this is, like, when you listen to his apology video, he is going to act as if this was some isolated incident where he had hit rock bottom. It's like, are you out of your fucking mind, guy? Do you really think that we believe anything you say? Hey, you think that now we're doubting all the stories about you with your former girl that, you know, magically ended up dead, by the way, who he almost certainly murdered? Now I could say that after all this other stuff about her walking into rooms with Diddy, coming out with a broken nose. Oh my God, I fell on my face. Yeah, right. This is a dude who always beats the shit out of girls. His girls get beat, son. And they don't get beat like thrown around. They get beat like beaten like a man. Broken noses, black eyes. I am going to enjoy watching this dude go to jail. Straight up. I'm going to enjoy it. And I know exactly what that means for a person like him. It's everybody's worst nightmare. But to go from being P. Diddy to being an inmate is going to be a shock to the system that I'm not sure he's going to survive. And, you know, I mean, he'll probably have appeals that'll get him through a while. Once his appeals are up, we'll see. We'll see how he resigns himself to life in prison, you know, and see if he decides that maybe the wrong end of a blanket is a little bit better option for him. But anywho, let's go over to his apology and let's watch this together, and we'll discuss.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you got to do that.
He's really, really digging deep, you know. Listen, man. It's a hard thing to do. And if there's anything that could come out of this, it would be me teaching others and helping others realize that you got to be able to go to the darkest place and just analyze what you did and, you know, the problems that you may or may not have had. It's like, oh yeah. Hey, wow, you're so brave, dude. And by the way, you want to know when rock bottom, this guy, he's about to say rock bottom. You want to know what rock bottom is, Diddy? Right now. And you know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. This is your rock bottom. We are living it right now.
I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, it is. And this video is not going to help you. And rock bottom, I will tell you right now, is right now. I have seen the video of him pacing in the Miami airport when the feds raided him. Okay? He thought that he has blanket immunity to do whatever he wants. Feds don't raid someone who has immunity, dude. He knew it, and he knows too. Now, when this video gets dropped, he knows exactly what's going on. You know what Diddy's like right now? It's like, have you seen that movie with Brad Pitt? It's like the cartel movie, and they have this thing where they talk about the whole movie, that there's this thing that they'll wrap around their neck, and it has a timer on it, and the thing just goes like this and cinches and keeps getting tighter, and eventually it cuts the person's head off. It's a really gnarly movie, dude. What's her name? Penelope Cruz is in it. She ends up getting whacked out. She ends up like, it's a gnarly movie. It is a hard watch. I cannot, and Fassbender is in it. I cannot remember the name of that movie, but I always think about that as one of the gnarliest ways to die. They stick this thing around your neck and it just starts tightening and tightening and tightening and tightening and tightening, and your neck's not strong enough, so it'll just cut right through it. That is Diddy right now. He has that thing around his neck and he knows it. He knows it. He knows exactly what's happening. He's a fighter, though, so he's going to fight. You know, he's going to put this video out, and he's going to, you know, give himself the best opportunity to beat whatever indictment's coming. He doesn't know what the indictment is. He's probably literally not able to sleep ever. But, yeah, this is your rock bottom, pal.
I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now.
No, you weren't, dude. You weren't disgusted then, and you're not disgusted now. That is an outright lie. And we know that because you are someone who continues to do the same behavior for the last 30 years, okay? Just bottom line, this is an outright lie, and it's a disgusting one. It's one that it's one of those things where, like, I know he has to do this, but I also know that he's a woman beating, you know, friend murdering, screw every person over that he's ever dealt with for money. He's a bad person. Okay. And what's hilarious, if you asked him, like if you were like, hey man, describe a genuinely evil, bad person. And you described the way that this dude has lived his life for the last 30 years. This is your prototype. This is an evil dude. And if you asked him, you'd be like, hey, do you think that you're a good guy or a bad guy? He'd be like, I'm a good guy, man. I help people out. You'd be like, really? You have a way, like you can convince yourself that you are a good guy. Like you are a good guy. How many people do you think you've beaten, like just beaten? People who are not worthy adversaries, girls, like where you've punished them, like hurt them, and you enjoyed the fact that they were terrified of you. How many people do you think felt like they got a good deal interacting with you? How many girls have you drugged? Like seriously, like in the hundreds and the thousands of girls that you drugged unknowingly, and then, you passed around to your friends to take advantage of. Thousands of girls. How many people have you assaulted in ways that they wouldn't have done had you not, coerced them or held them down or other things? Like you are an objectively bad person.
I went and I sought out professional help.
Lie. Absolute stone boldface lie. You did not seek out professional help. That's one of the most egregious ones. It gets a little bit worse though in a second. But if this dude, I'll tell you right now, I will tell you exactly what I DM'd to True Jordy. I said, if this guy went to therapy after this incident, I would literally go to his house and let him drug me and treat me like a blow-up doll. There is no chance, absolutely no chance, 0% that he went to therapy after this for that. None.
I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace.
God.
I'm so sorry.
To who? To who? Who are you sorry to? Who are you apologizing to exactly? Cassie? That's not what you said. You told her, you said she's a liar. So who are you apologizing to exactly? It's not Cassie. I didn't hear her name brought up once, because I think you know that a big reason that you are facing the end of your life is because of her. She bided her time and she is burying you. I love that fact, dude. I love that. When you really think about how gangster that is, I don't think there's anything more gangster than a really slow, long-term revenge story, Like when someone really deserves it and they're in a huge place of power. And there's a massive power imbalance in the story. And then the smaller, weaker person, ineffectual, who doesn't have any ability to kind of defend themselves, they just wait, bide their time, and then they eventually get that person, because that's what this is. Cassie is the reason that this is happening. And like I said, in later videos I'm going to do this week, she might be someone who holds a lot of information on Diddy, like about murders and shit. And that's probably why he settled so fast and paid her that $30 million. But the damage was done, dude. It's all public record now. So, yeah, we'll talk more about that later, though.
But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness.
You're not forgiven.
I'm truly sorry.
Again, you're committed to being a better man. A little too late, guy. You know what I mean? And a lifetime. So, he's been doing this for 30 years. How old is he? Okay, so the vast majority of his life, you've been just consuming at the expense of every other person, beating people around you, taking whatever you want. Did you know that Kim Porter's, I don't want to step on this video, but Kim Porter, the mother of his kids, when they went on a break, they went on a short break, and Kim Porter dated a dude briefly while she was on a break with Diddy, and Diddy went to his office and beat the living shit out of him, and then the guy ended up shooting himself in the face twice. One of those things, he killed himself. Multiple gunshot wounds, though. So I'm sure that wasn't Diddy, but we're going to have a whole other video to talk about that. So, yeah, that's Diddy's apology video, and I don't know. I assume you guys found that as egregious as I did. Now let's talk about his son, the little creepazoid weirdo who is going to have a real rough life while daddy is trying to be a better person one day at a time in Pelican Bay. Although he's probably not going to go there. I don't know. In all seriousness, I don't know if you get to go to Club Fed when you are, convicted for murder. It's like if you're Bernie Madoff and you get some long sentence, but you were a Ponzi scheme guy, nothing violent, you end up going to a place where they give you a tennis racket when you first get there. I always use that metaphor because that's what Jordan Belfort said about where he did prison was they gave him a tennis racket when he first got there. It was like, it's prison for rich people who do white collar shit. If you murder people, sex traffic, I don't think that's where you go. I don't think that's an option for you. Anyway, so now let's move over and we'll talk about his little creep son, and we can see how the apple did not fall far from the tree when it comes to drugging women. So I assume everybody saw, or maybe not actually, that Diddy's son got accused of a sexual assault on a yacht. Okay. Now, early on, I heard this story and I actually considered it most likely to be a money grab, where I'm like, come on, like on a yacht, like his son is just going to assault some woman who works there because she's a bartender on the yacht, right? Like she's staff. And I'm like, that sounds crazy. Well, I guess anytime that you give anyone the benefit of the doubt around Diddy, especially if they're related to him, that is misplaced faith in humanity because he's on audio tape. And, as everybody's heard, I want you guys to keep this in mind that many of the accusations against Diddy had to do with him having separated alcohol that all the guys knew. You don't drink that champagne and you don't drink that, Alizé or whatever, because it's marked. That's the shit that has drugs in it. They drugged it. Okay. So that the girls would drink it and they're on ecstasy. I'm sure that that's what they're putting in there without realizing it. Or maybe, who knows, maybe they're just straight up doing Rohypnol and they're just going to knock them out. But I would imagine most likely it's probably ecstasy. So the girls are like, they feel like they're falling in love with the dude, since when you do ecstasy, you fall in love with whoever you're standing next to. It's a real tricky move, dude. Real tricky move. And, then the dudes take advantage of the compromised brain of the women. So that's a thing that we know he's been doing for decades. Okay. So let's hear the story about his son on the yacht.
Of rapper, producer, and businessman Sean Diddy Combs is accused of sexual assault in a new lawsuit that names both men. The 31-page lawsuit was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court on Thursday, according to an attorney for the plaintiff, Grace O'Marque. O'Marque worked as a crew member and bartender on a yacht leased by Sean Combs and his family in December 2022.
So as you listen to this story, keep in mind that this girl's staff, okay? She's not some groupie on the boat. She works there. It's her job, okay? And she's on a yacht. What does that mean? It means she's a presentable, person who knows how to talk to people. Because, those types of yachts that get leased, they're leased to people who have serious money. And, contrary to what you would see on Instagram, most people who have real money are not like P. Diddy or like these other assholes that are, flexing money on everyone. My God. By the way, anybody catch that Wes Watson thing where he was on the stage at Fresh and Fit? That's the most embarrassing shit I've ever seen in my entire life. But you know what? I'm not going to talk about him because I know too much about his backstory. I'm not getting involved with that dude. He can run his hustle all he wants. He doesn't fuck with me. I won't fuck with him. But anywho, you should definitely go check that out. Fresh and Fit, Wes Watson stage thing. Man. Anywho, maybe you'll end up going down the rabbit hole that I did after that. But nonetheless, let's continue. So when it comes to the girl on the yacht, she knows how to talk to people with money, which means she's a good girl and has been around educated people. And she's not some groupie rap whore who's just waiting for someone to give her a hit of E inside of a champagne bottle that she doesn't know she's taking, so she can decide if she's going to take 3 or 4, of the rappers that night. That's not who she is. She's a good girl. She's a good girl, okay? And this is how they treated her.
According to the lawsuit, the experience was sold as a wholesome family excursion but turned into a hedonistic environment, the lawsuit says, and suspected sex workers and other celebrities were often brought aboard.
I watch these clips, think about what a little shitbag Diddy's son must be. The most entitled, ego-driven, empty vessel of all time. That is exactly what he looks like to me.
In the early morning of December 28th, Christian Combs pressured Omar K to drink a shot of tequila, and shortly thereafter he assaulted her, the lawsuit says. Omar K believes the tequila, which she says Christian Combs brought aboard, may have been laced with drugs, according to the lawsuit. Sean Combs is not accused of sexual assault in the lawsuit, but is included on allegations of liability and aiding and abetting.
Oh, yeah, maybe because he taught his son the drug the booze trick his entire life. Let's continue.
Aaron Dyer, an attorney for Sean and Christian Combs, said in a statement to CNN that they had not seen this woman's claims, but believe the lawsuit contains manufactured lies. Lawsuit cites audio recording. The lawsuit cites an audio recording from a makeshift recording studio on the yacht, which Omar K said is where the alleged assault began. According to a partial transcript included in the lawsuit, Omar K was being pressured to take a shot and asked Christian Combs, "Are you drugging me?" with Combs answering, "Take the shot." CNN has not obtained...
Okay, so just so we're clear on that, right? Just so we're clear on that. She said, he's like, "Take this shot." And she's like, "Are you drugging me?" And he's all, "Take the shot." And then she says, "Okay, take it with me." Okay, that's what he's going to say later. I can't deal with this AI voice. I'll just tell you what happens. She's like, "Take it with me." And he's like, and he says, the transcript says, he goes, "I'm not even going to lie, man. I'm not going to drink a shot, but you take that shot." She's like, "No, I don't think I want to do that." Like, "Hey, are you drugging me? Take the shot." This is weird. Are you going to take a shot? Will you take one with me? "I'm not going to lie, man. I'm not even going to take a shot. Take the shot." It's like, "Hey, why don't you tell me you have no experience with actual human beings without telling me that, dude? That's not how humans interact. Usually you're around rap hoes, you know, like groupies that are like actually hoping to bang Sean Diddy Combs' son because they're pathetic. Okay, this is a girl with a fucking job who's at she's at her work, you little fucking sleaze bag, and you're trying to pour drugs down her throat, and she knows." And then he corners her in a room and starts to assault her. Okay. So I don't know. It's unclear whether she ended up taking the shot or not. But what is very clear is that he like tracked her down, locked her in a room, and started assaulting her. And then some guy, one of the other people who worked on the boat, like found her and came inside and was like, "Hey, what's up?" And she was like, "Oh my God." And she ran out of there. So Diddy's son, dude. Diddy's son. And there's an audio recording of it. Fucking creep. And you can guarantee we're going to get to hear that audio recording soon. It's not out yet, but there's a transcript of it that is coming out, you know. And what's funny about audio recordings is you think that it doesn't bury people, but it does. If you remember the Harvey Weinstein one, where, you know, long time ago he assaulted this foreign model, where the night before he had like tricked her and like took her somewhere, and then he grabbed her tits, you know, like, and which sounds like not that big a deal in comparison to the other stuff that he did. And he had just groped her, but she was like, you know, like the idea, again, just like the girl on the boat, people see, like these guys just look at girl. They're all, "Pretty girl. She's dressed up nice. She looks like someone wants to get ran through." And it's like, dude, some of these girls, if you don't know, they're good girls. They just want to dress up and look pretty, okay? Like they're not looking for that kind of attention, and they certainly are not like, you know, a lot of them are going to be like, "Dude, did you just like grab my chest?" You know, like they're used to like these Hollywood girls, and like you can catch a girl like that where she's going to go to the cops, which she did. She went to the police and told them that he groped her, and the cops were like, "Well, there's not really much we can do with just that. Maybe you could, record him next time." And so she recorded the interaction between him and her, and she got him on tape where he's like just relentlessly trying to get her to come into his room. And she's like, "But last night you grabbed my breast." And he's like, "It's not going to happen again." He's like, "Come on." He's like, don't lose me as a friend over just something stupid." He was going to take her in his room and he was going to assault her for 100% sure. And she wouldn't go in. She's recording it. And, they didn't do anything with it at the time, but real bad look once, again, you have 38 fucking accusers, scum. Anyway, so the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Fuck these two. I got much more Diddy content coming this week. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell. Bye-bye.